Is Donald Trump pro-life? Here's proof he's not. It's no secret that Donald Trump isn't your traditional conservative candidate. He's a populist that looks at every issue as a transaction. In most instances, that's fine, but not when it comes to protecting the unborn. And conservative commentators explained why Donald Trump recently proved he's not pro-life.
Donald Trump did a mainstream media interview over the weekend. It didn't go amazing for him. His recent interviews have not been going particularly well. This one was with Kristen Welker. The most newsworthy thing that he said in this interview was he made a comment suggesting that heartbeat bills, like to protect the lives of the unborn in states, are terrible, which is not only not pro-life, it's an awful thing to say. It's one thing to say that, tactically speaking, as President of the United States, I'm going to try to reach as much consensus as possible and gradually move the line back on abortion to accustom the American people to protecting life. Because if we move too far too fast, then the snapback is going to be dramatic, as we saw in Kansas. That's a pragmatic question, and it's a case you can make. That's not what Trump says. What Trump actually says about abortion in this interview is morally egregious. He says that heartbeat bills to, protect babies in the womb past week 5, week 6, those are terrible. That's the thing he says.
If a federal ban landed on your desk, if you were reelected, would you sign it at 15?
Are you talking about a complete ban?
A ban at 15 weeks?
Well, people are starting to think of 15 weeks. That seems to be a number that people are talking about right now.
Would you sign that?
I would sit down with both sides and I'd negotiate something, and we'll end up with peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years. I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think what
too
he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
A terrible thing and a terrible mistake. In the state. He's not even talking federally. In the state. Hey, that is not a pro-life position by any stretch of the imagination.
It's one thing to say you don't support federal limitations on abortion, but an entirely different story to say you oppose states' heartbeat bills, and you don't have to be a person of faith to oppose killing unborn babies.
With faith, it's an issue of almost agnostic of faith in its essence. In other words, yes, my faith teaches me that life begins at conception. I understand that. But I say it's agnostic of faith because what I don't understand is you don't even have to be a person of faith to understand that it's probably not a good thing to kill babies in the womb. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, do you really need some higher power to tell you that? I'm glad my higher power does, but do you need it? I mean, even if you're a diehard atheist, I disagree with your position, but you still don't understand how wiping out a human life in the womb because it's inconvenient for you is not a good thing? I don't get that.
You can and should support life, if nothing else, on moral grounds. Defending life is the fabric of who we are as conservatives.
Trump's answer there is wrong on multiple levels. It's morally wrong, 1,000%. It's not a terrible thing to protect human children from being slaughtered. That's not terrible. And, the spin from some of Trump's defenders is that, Trump was saying that it's a terrible mistake. He was saying that it's a terrible political mistake to sign a 5 or 6 week ban on abortion. Now, if that is what he was saying, that would also be wrong.
Even CNN's Scott Jennings pointed out how egregious Trump's comments were.
What he said this weekend, if you are truly a person that has pro-life values, was egregious and wrong and not conservative.
At what point do we wake up to the writing on the wall and say Trump is not pro-life?